What is up, guys? This is Animal. Today I bring you a new video. As you can see the title, we're going to be talking about Trials of the Nine, even comparing some things towards Trials of Osiris. I already spoke my opinion about the no radar, but I'm still going to talk about the no radar in this video because I played it for 3 weeks now, and some of the opinions might have shifted a little bit. So, after some playtime, you get new opinions that form, happens. So I'll be talking about all that stuff in this video. First of all, I want to start by saying that one of my friends the other night shared me a video from Astacross, a guy that I really respect as a Crucible player, all that kind of stuff. He's an awesome dude. I watch his videos quite frequently. What he said in his video, I can link it in the description also. He talked about the fact that the D1 Summit, there's barely going to be any Trials Sherpas, Trials players, and all that kind of stuff. And I know there's some dudes like Antash going and all that kind of stuff, but they barely play Trials anymore. They barely play Trials on a weekly basis and all that kind of stuff. There's no big players that play the Trials every weekend that's going over there. Barely. Maybe one or two. And he's right about that. And another thing that I want to add before we continue is the fact that people need to realize what kept D1 alive between content drought. It is Trials. Trials has always been the game type, the where to people went between content drought. People were making livings out of carries in D1, live streaming Trials during the weekends. It kept the game afloat between nothingness. Between the game having no content at all for 6 to 8 to 9 months at a time. And Trials kept it alive. Trials was the go-to place where you could get flawless loot, adept weapons, other kind of loot. And if you were, like I said, flawless gear or adept weapons, if you were lucky and had a good team, good communication, and you were successful on the flawless run, you would go to the secret place called the Lighthouse, where nobody had, except the flawless guys, an opportunity to go. And it kept the noobs between the men's, the pros, at check, you know? I don't know if I can say that in that way. But it kept the pros a place of secretness where no other people, if you didn't attain flawless, you could go. So the search to go to the Lighthouse, trove carries, all that kind of stuff was on live streams, on Twitch, and all that kind of stuff. It kept the game alive between content droughts. The loot was amazing. Oh man, I can't. I sometimes, man, I would just like to have back my Warlock Trials gear with the Anubis type helmet, all that kind of stuff. I just miss all that stuff. I miss adept weapons. I miss going to the Lighthouse where nobody could go. Like, don't get me wrong, in Trials of the Nine you still have a little bit of a secretive area, but everybody can go to that area. And I felt like they showered you with loot so much in Trials of the Nine that there's no pursuit to loot. There's none. I got everything in Season 1 the first 2 weeks. Pretty much everything except the flawless gear, because you can only choose one a week. But still, there was another set that was literally identical to the flawless except color wise, and a little bit of ornament blue stuff coming out in the armor. And don't get me wrong, I still like my Warlock armor for Season 2 of Destiny 2, but I don't know, there's something that just doesn't look Trials-ish. But anyways, I'll talk about that in a couple minutes. But back to the D1 Summit thing. I feel like Bungie is just dropping the ball on Trials players. It's like if they don't playtest their PvP at all. And if they do, man, they need to hire some major, and I'm talking guys that are like monstrous in PvP, to show them what can be do with certain classes in Crucible. Because if you look at right now, like, look at it, if you play Trials, alright, you can see there's an influx of Arcstriders. Arcstriders are becoming the new meta, you know, like, as concerned, like, the Night Stalker were in Season 1 pretty much, in Season 2, a big part of the beginning of Season 2. It's like if everybody, like, the boo-boo was just passed on to another class, and that class is Arcstrider. It's like if they didn't realize what a 4-point-something KD guy can do with, like, an Arcstrider, and a team of 4 of those can do with that. They need to playtest their game more. If they do, alright, but they need to have PvP, like, serious PvP competitive players that playtest and try those updates before they're released. Because it's, I don't know, I feel like there's some things going on over there that doesn't make sense. After trying 3 weeks of Trials of the Night with no radar, I can positively say it's garbage. What they were going for is literally just a band-aid on a bigger boo-boo they created when they did D2's Crucible. When they did D2's Crucible with this whole weapon slot change and shit like that were supposed to be balanced, they killed the fun of this game first of all, with this weapon slots change, which they're planning to revert only in like 6 more months. But still, at least it's gonna be done. So I'll give them, I'll lift my hats to them, you know. But the boo-boo has already been done, like, radar-wise and all that kind of stuff. And the thing is, they're like, oh, okay. And this, you'll notice this, profile my other video that I made. I can understand what they wanted to go for with the no radar, because it creates plays with flanks and stuff like that. But right now, that's not what it is. After playing 3 weeks of it, I can honestly say that the only thing you see in survival is people running in a pack of 4 or camping in a pack of 4, looking in every doorway with vigilance, wings, and last hopes. So the meta just got passed to something else, and the boo-boo just got passed to something else. And now it's extremely hard to play with players that are not, and I mean not, that experienced in Trials already. And half of them sometimes don't know the proper communication callouts. And it just makes it really rough. Yes, your team can have the most amazing communication, but not having a radar when you're a really good player and all that kind of stuff, and there's one person on your team that doesn't communicate a flank, you're screwed. You're screwed. And it's just brutal. It just does a horrible Trials of the Night experience, in my opinion. In my opinion, they should just revert back to the old ways where we had radar. At least that was playable. Even though we don't like this weapon slot system where people just abuse the fuck out of Acreus, like I'm doing right now. And just colonies, Acreus, like fusion rifles or fucking rocket launchers and shit like that. What did Bungie say before they said, oh, we're removing the radar out of competitive plays? So people can have more hero moments, profile flanks, and all that kind of stuff with snipers and shotgun plays. What do you mean shotgun plays? You're talking about this fucking thing I'm using right now? Acreus is just a fusion shotgun. It's a mixture between both. It just annihilates everything in its path. You can kill 4 dudes with 1 shot of this thing. This is a heavy weapon, not a special weapon that you guys are like talking about. And the problem is, people are not using snipers. Because as soon as you use a sniper, as soon as you go with a flank with a sniper, you just get team shoot by fucking vigilance. And your fucking aim is still all over the place. Don't get me wrong. It's not as bad as it used to be with the flinch and all that kind of stuff. It used to be hella worse a couple weeks ago. fuck. I have a lot of video on my YouTube that just shows it off. But back to what I was saying, the flanks and all that kind of stuff that they were talking about, the hero moments, I just don't see them. If you see them, it's usually a dude just bum rushing you with like skip nades with Arcstrider or Acris or Colony or things like that, where the boo-boo just got passed on to another. Like, it just doesn't make sense. They need proper PvP players over there, and I'm not saying the guys at Bungie are not good, but certainly not on certain players from the community's level good. There's some people in this game that could play pro in many games. And I'm talking pro, like tournaments and all that kind of stuff. When you play against a team like that, and you're running with randoms with a no radar situation, you're gonna get smashed. Smashed. And with a no mercy system, just creates a hella bad weekend. If the no radar situation, at least we would have a mercy or something like that, it'd be less bad. But don't get me wrong, it still doesn't fix their boo-boo. The main boo-boo of this game right now is the fact that the weapon slots got massacred when this game came out. If we still had our shotguns in the special situation, if we had our snipers in the special situation, we could do plays and outplay other players with shotguns and snipers. But the fact that people right now are hating on Acris, alright, I am even hating on it. But Acris is a balanced, heavy weapon. But the problem with Acris is people get bullets for it every freaking minute. And when another player drops the heavy pack, that player gets another. So if you don't have an Acris, guess what? You're fucking fucked, son. You can't do shit. You can't compete against it unless you have a little bit of range on that person that's rushing you with that shotgun. Forget about it. And if they're running with transverse steps or other boots that give you an extra slide momentum and all that kind of stuff, you are fucked, man. Acris is just gonna rip your head off, pretty much. And that's the problem. It's not Acris that's the problem. It's this boo-boo they made with this weapon slot system. If Acris would be a heavy and my sudden death shotgun would be in the specials, people would have to use the Acris as a heavy. You would only get it once per game, like we remembered from D1. In D1, you would only get heavy weapons once a game. Well, towards the end, at least. And that made that people would get one shot to make extreme plays with galleys and name it, all the the swords, and the machine guns, all those weapons. So if the weapon slot system would be like in D1 in this game, Acris would not be a problem, Colony would not be a problem, Sins of the Past would not be a problem, because you would get it once a game. And shotguns, the normal legendary shotguns that are not brokenly strong, would not be a problem. They would be a proper way to play, to get flanks and all that kind of stuff. My buddy Jig Drazil said it right last night. How the fuck are we supposed to defend ourselves against 3 guys that just picked up fucking heavy all over the place with Acris's and just bum rush the shit out of you? It's unfucking realistic. And that's where I'm going with Bungie, where the big boo-boo is weapon slot system. They need to go back to that old system. I know they're talking about bringing it back in the September update. For the love of God, you're one of the biggest studios in the world for gaming. One of the biggest studios in the world. The second most highest selling game of freaking 2017 so far, that if I remember correctly. How the fuck you don't have enough workers to just, alright, let's bring 100 people on the same deck and work on this shit so we can release this update as fast as we can. Some games barely have a quarter of the employees that this company has, and they're releasing updates weekly to fix their shit. And their games are surviving and they're living and they're making extras. Look at Fortnite and Epic Games. They don't wait 2 months to fucking update. They do it weekly, daily updates and shit like that. Bungie knows what they have to do. This D1 Summit, I don't understand. It doesn't make sense. In some ways, I see why they're doing it, is to promote their new stuff coming out, in May. That Warmind DLC and all that kind of stuff. I support that. I support that as a company, that you bring your players, your highest community players and all that kind of stuff, to show off your new stuff and to promote your game. But when it's to promote this right now, in the current state it is, I just don't get it. I just don't get it. Fix the game first and then promote your new DLCs, your new stuff and all that kind of stuff. Look at Curse of Osiris. When it came out, Curse of Osiris, everybody was hyped up, but people were like, yeah, like, we've been waiting 3.5 years to see Osiris, the legend of all warlocks, the strongest warlocks, like, ever to live, one of the most charismatic character that people could not wait to see, all that kind of stuff. And his story was lack, the loot was lack, half of the guns from the Forge are amazing, but the perks are just bad, and they literally sabotaged that DLC, the hype towards that DLC, with all this Eververse bullshit, and name it, a lot of controversy, a lot of stuff, a lot of bad vibes. People were just pissed off because people were just sick and tired of Bungie's ways. After 3 years, we can't believe that you guys did not take anything in accountability and just like, alright, like, we can't do this, people don't like it. It's like, just take notes. Now you're inviting a bunch of people to a summit to try to give you guys opinions, which could be literally emailed or message, or even just drove out the thousands of reviews videos of being hated on and all that kind of stuff. But yes, I do see what Bungie wants to do. They want to kind of talk in person and all that kind of stuff, which I respect, which I give them the benefit of the doubt. But right now, at this point, it's like, where are the big Crucible guys? Where's Luminosity at? Where's, even if I don't really personally like the dude, the Triple Wreck, where are those dudes? Like the big dudes that carried the Crucible on their shoulders, profile pro teams and all that kind of stuff in D1. Sir Demetrius and all those guys, Drenator Jake, where are those guys? They're not invited. Because this isn't going to be a PvE almost like event. And the thing is about PvE, don't take it personally, PvE guys, but you're not what's making the game survive between content droughts. After everybody gets everything, and I mean everything, from the content, the DLC, all that kind of stuff, after everybody gets everything, we're up to 6 months without a DLC. We're up to 6 months without like barely anything except maybe a mini event that keeps us like playing the game. So what keeps the game alive? Trials. Trials keeps the game alive. It keeps the game alive between content droughts. And that's where it's frustrating. Because it seems that Bungie are not inviting players that are Trials vets or Trials players and all that kind of stuff to give them their opinion on what's going on with Trials. I'll tell you some of my opinions. I'm not getting invited over there, that's for sure. I'm not that popular. I'm nowhere near popular enough to go over there yet. But I play Trials on a weekly basis. Since the beginning of D2 and since the beginning of D1, I play Crucible non-stop. I'm 80% Crucible and 20% PvE. I still do everything in the game PvE-wise. I am a collector. I try to collect everything, all exotics, name it. I like getting everything done. But I mainly concentrate on PvP. I play Trials on a weekly basis, and I can tell you by experience, what I see every weekend, and it's getting worse and worse and worse. The hand-holding can be fixed by a simple solution. Time to kill. Time to kill would fix the hand-holding instead of this hero flanking, no radar that they supposedly play-tested. You didn't playtest this shit like Trials run against good players. I can tell you that. I can tell you that stacked teams of 4 players that are running 4 point something KDs, all 4 of them, just trying to get their stats higher and higher and higher, those guys are just going to run you over, and with no mercy, it kills the vibe of playing Trials. Everybody just weekly are getting frustrated with Trials. And it's like Bungie's not doing anything to, okay, we'll do a D1 summit for the PvE side. But after that, we're doing another summit, but mostly for PvP guys because of the private game settings are coming. The D-Rank are coming. And we want to make sure that Trials gets better. And plus, we're going to talk even more about weapon slot system, all that kind of stuff. That's going to help out the game. Instead of implemented something into the game that just frustrated players even more. People said, they said it point blank, they never wanted to see a no radar or just make it as an event for Halloween. We said it in D1, we didn't like it. The community spoke about it. There was maybe 20% players that liked it, and the rest were all against it. Don't like go the other direction. It's like, what the fuck are you guys trying to do? You know? I just don't get it. I understand. It's like I said in my video, I understand the direction Bungie took to go from there. But they just put a band-aid, like Astercost said, on a boo-boo, and that's it. They didn't fix the boo-boo. They didn't fix the problem. The problem is the weapon slots. That's it. Look at this shit right here. Acris. That's pretty much what it is. And this gameplay is a little bit a couple weeks ago though. But my bad if I seem to rant and all that kind of stuff. But I play Trials on a weekly basis. And I love playing Trials since D1. The hype of going to the Flawless House, the Lighthouse in D1. I remember the first time I went there and I saw the sun, I saw the video and all that kind of stuff. The cutscene at the start, I was like amazed beyond amazed. I just wanted to go Flawless every weekend just to see that secret place, no noobs, not everyone could see. And it just felt amazing. Now, like, everybody can go to the emissary. Everybody can go to that place. Yes, there's a little black, dark area where people, some amount of the community will never see, but there's not much to see. The Lighthouse had secrets, had little areas where people could lurk around and look and all that kind of stuff. Just opening that chest and seeing your loot pop out, your adept weapons that were amazing, like the Messenger, Doctrine of Passing. Those 2 weapons, they were so amazing. And only players that reached the adept level, which is Flawless, could get. And now that's the problem. You can get all the weapons from just tokens. Tokens. What's the point? What's bad about doing another set of weapons with different perks and just putting them in the adept? Oh, well, we want everybody to be able to experience. No. Like, first of all, if people want to experience what the weapon is, they're going to work for it. They're going to work to get that adept weapon. Even those armor that you get from the Flawless, why not have an extra perk to each pieces where only the Flawless players can get? The helmet. Okay, I picked up an orb, I get back some super energy. I res somebody, I get the more super energy. I picked up an orb, I get a certain piece of my health back. Where are those perks? Put in those perks on the Flawless armor, and people are going to be grinding the fuck out of it to get it. People are going to be grinding the fuck out of it. They're going to play Trials every weekend to get those pieces they need to fulfill their full set and to get their full set completed of adept weapons also. Put secret perks on the adept weapons. Well, secret perks. Put perks that are visible so people can be like, oh my god, I want that weapon. I need to go flawless, guys. I need to play trials and all that kind of stuff to get that doctrine of passing, counterbalance weapon, all that kind of stuff. Man, the hunt was real when people saw that the doctrine of passing the adept one was this freaking great. And that's what's missing right now in the game. The Trials armor, I'm not gonna be like in a bitch or something like that, but the Trials armor in D2 is not that great looking. Except for the helmets, maybe a couple other pieces. It's not D1 like the Cat Hunter full set, the Warlock Anubis set, the Titan Phoenix helmet, all that kind of stuff. The Pariah gear, the ornament set with the wings on the Titan that looks like a scarab. You want to say to me that that loot was not beautiful? Oh, that loot was beautiful. That loot made me grind to get every single piece on every single character that they were ever released. All the adept weapons and all that kind of stuff. I played Trials non-stop just to get all that. And that's what's missing about Trials in D2. We're missing that factor. We're missing the loot to grind to play every weekend. And now there's still players like me that still play to get numbers like the amount of flawlesses, the amount of wins, to trying to improve their KD, all that kind of stuff, and trying to stay at top of playing Crucible, you know? I'd rather play Trials than Crucible. But with this no radar system, I just don't feel like it anymore. Like right now, I could go and like last night, I'll tell you an example. I played 5 hours of Crucible quick play, which usually I would have played 5 hours of Trials. That means there was a lot less players last night to play in Trials because my team, where we were playing quick play. And if there's a lot of more players like this that don't see the point of stressing on a no radar, no mercy environment where you can lose a match by still being 10 times better than the other player, but because of a laggy flank or a DDoSer or something like that, makes you lose one match and 2 hours down the drain, you have to restart. It's band-aids over boo-boos, band-aids over boo-boos, but the infection is still there. You have to kill the infection, and to kill the infection, you have to fix the boo-boo. And the boo-boo right now is the weapon slots. We need Mercy back again. We need loot to be able to be epic and to grind for. Give us those perks that I just mentioned about, let's say the helmet could have, okay, on res, you get extra super. On or pickup, you get extra super or health regen. On the melees, extra melee speed or extra snapshot on weapons, certain weapons like shotgun or sniper or things like that. Chest piece. Okay, on chest piece you get, I don't know, when you pick up heavies you get a bullet extra or something like that. Or when you use your ability is 2 times stronger. Like the shield would be 2 times stronger, the rift would be 2 times stronger, and the shade step would come in 2 times faster. You know, things that would make the game people grind more for those armor sets. They should do the same thing for the raid sets, but that's another video. We're here to talk about Trials. But that's the thing. They need to invite players that play Trials on a weekly basis, or at least talk to them somehow. Hey, I love Bungie. Alright? I love Bungie. I played all their games. What I'm saying here is not to hate on Bungie. I just want them, I want to help them improve their game. Because before it hits rock bottom 0. There's a way of being like constructive. There's a way of telling something to a gaming developer and all that kind of stuff. Like right now, it sounds like I'm ranting, but I'm ranting in a good way because I want them to be successful. I want them to bring their game back. I want to have the feeling of D1 again, where people played this game and it was the top 10 most streamed games in every corner of the last 3 years. Now it's barely in the 86th spot. It's like, what the fuck? Like, what happened, Bungie? I love you guys, but let me help you. Take the veterans comments and opinions and thoughts and reviews and all that kind of stuff. Gaming companies needs to stop catering to casuals. They're creating an environment where it's too easy to attain everything. It's too easy to rank everything. It's too easy to get everything. And then your vets that play the game more are gonna have nothing to do. Yeah, a casual that plays 2 hours of this shit every week is maybe gonna have some stuff to do for the next 3 years. But not a dude that plays it 40 hours a week. Forget about it. In D1, that's the thing. You had to put 20 to 25 to 30 to 35 hours a week to get everything. On Nightfall Day, you had to, on Refresh, you had to do your 3 Nightfalls, your 3 Raids, and your 3 weekly strikes to get certain materials just to rank up your gear to make sure that you keep on leveling up. People did that every Tuesday and Wednesday. And then you had trials during the weekend. You had to play trials to get flawless, to get those adept secret weapons, to try to attain that one day that you could get to the lighthouse. And that's what the feeling is missing right now. They need to go back to that feeling. They can listen to my video and all that kind of stuff. Right there, that's free review, thoughts, opinions. They don't even need to invite people over there to do this shit. Just listen to your community that's speaking to you every week. Every single day. Every single hour of them posting something on Twitter is legitimately saying to you what you need to fix and what you need to do. But at the end of the day, I love Bungie. This might have sounded very rantful, negative, or positive to whichever ear is listening. But it needs to be said. It needs to be said, and people need to understand where my love for Destiny, my love for Bungie, the creator of Halo, one of my favorite shooters of all time, and the creator of my favorite shooter of all time, which was Destiny. I want to help them fix the Destiny 2. Because I want to play it every day with my friends. I want to have that solid relationship with Destiny and just be there and play the game. But right now it's in a rough spot, and they need to listen to their community that plays this game every weekend out, and the players that gave their heart and soul at the start and were backstabbed pretty much by some of the stuff they did. The weapon slot system is number one. The loot needs to be more special. There needs to be some, every week, a change. Like, survival is good, countdown is good, but bring back elimination. 3v3 elimination trials would be a difference maker. 1 week you would have, okay, the 4v4 meta, and then you have the 3v3 meta. It would change the pace of this game sometimes. But they need to concentrate on changing the weapon slot system as fast as they can. Introducing loot that's special when you go to the flawless and to the lighthouse. Not only armor sets, but weapon sets also. Weapons needs to be special. Put hand cannons that has like the same effect that Torn had. Put adept weapons with an extra perk that's randomized every week. So every week you have a set of 8 different perks that you can get on 8 different weapons, but they're only attainable at the lighthouse, and they change every week. So if you want that counterbalance, dark as before, people would grind the fuck to get that shit, dude. Hey, Bungie, I love you guys. I hope that you guys maybe see this video and you maybe, you know, get influenced or get some of my opinions and say, yeah, I mean, check his stats, he plays every weekend. Maybe some of the things that he says are right. But at the end of the day, Bungie needs to invite their core PvP players, the PvP legends. Listen to your PvP community. We need Mercy again. To be able to do carries and all that kind of stuff, you need Mercy. There's nothing more insulting than when you get to the 5th game and you're doing a carry or double carry or triple carry and you get to the last game and lose it because of either a DDoS or a shitty situation or even the fact that you have no radar. We need Mercy again. We need it, and Bungie, I can't say this enough, we need it big time. That's one of the things that you need to bring. Change the weapon slot system back to what it was in D1. And you will have half of all the problems this game have fixed. Need to have more loot. More various, better loot at the Flawless House. That is for sure. Different armor sets that look different at the Lighthouse, where the Unknown Spire, where you get the Flawless loot. It needs to be different than the normal set, so people grind the fuck to get the Adept set, if I can say it right. All I said in this video is pretty much everything that you need to do and all that kind of stuff. And if there is more, as a viewer, you can say it in the comment section. Please speak your opinions, your thoughts in the comment section. I read everything that you guys say, and I try to pass it on and share it on and all that kind of stuff. If you can do the same with my video and share it to Bungie, share it to your friends, share it to whoever plays Trials on your friends list and all that kind of stuff, so Bungie can see the community talking about this. The fact that they don't do much for Trials right now is offending the Trials community, because we're as more important that we never get to shine, really. Right now they're so focused on fixing PvE, and which is good, and I want them to fix PvE, but they need to fix Trials also, because Trials is what kept this game between content droughts of dying, and I'm talking about Destiny 1. And it kept it from dying in content droughts. We had 9 months without anything. Trials kept it alive in that 9 months. And D2 might have the same problem. But this time around it might be worse, because Trials is barely unplayable. So fix Trials so Trials can keep the game alive in between content droughts. So Twitch streamers can stream it every weekend, to give creation to stream and all that kind of stuff, to bring this game out there so people see videos, they want to see montages, they want to see these streams and all that kind of stuff. People want to see and experience Destiny, trophy out creation and all that kind of stuff. And that's the thing. Right now it's just not there. It's just not there. With the private game system coming out, yeah, we'll be able to do a bunch of videos here, guys, at YouTube. Testing videos that we've been wanting to do since the beginning of D2. Melee range, name it, like which grenade hits the most, has the most ticks and all that kind of stuff. Which weapons does more damage. And with private games, there's going to be so much videos coming out. That creation on YouTube is going to be awesome again for D2. But it's not going to fix the whole thing. The main boo-boo right now is their weapon slots and the random rolls and all that kind of stuff. And the third biggest problem is loot. We need matterful loot. Loot that is beyond people want to grind for. But with that, I think I ranted enough today. So I'm going to leave you guys with that. I hope that you guys share this video as much as you can. So Bungie might see this video, you know. Bungie don't need to invite everyone to the summit. They don't need to invite the entire world to that summit. They need to listen to their community. The ones that play and put their soul and heart into this game, into Destiny 1, into Halo, name it. All their games. The people that been there forever. Your casuals, it's okay to have them. It's okay to have certain things for them. You already have. It's the rare gear or the legend gear that they can get at the tower. But your veterans, the people that are gonna put their hearts into their game, into your game, Bungie, that's where your exotic loot, your valuable loot, the hard to earn loot, people are gonna grind for and give their heart and soul to get. And that's what you need to concentrate on. So with that, I'll leave you guys. I hope that you guys have a marvelous day. Share this video as much as you can. Hit the bell And please thunder snipe that subscribe button. And I will see you guys on the next one. Peace out. My name is Animal. Peace out.
One opponent remains. Judgment.